And we are live. So we had a bit of a miscommunication earlier today. We thought we were going to be doing a 4 o'clock live stream at Cosmic Comics in Belleville because we thought that it was the birthday bash for store owner Dave Dyer. Well, not only was today scheduled, but double booked. It was a double gaming tournament going on today, so it was a bad idea. But Dave's birthday is actually in 2 weeks. It's on February the 1st. So we will be there, as we frequently are, first weekend of the month, chatting with Dave, wishing him a happy birthday and talking about comics. And we're going to have a special interview hopefully set up. We're working the deal out with that right now. Really, I just need some people to let me know how things are sounding with this video, because we have installed a new Wi-Fi repeater to help the signal from our internet penetrate the impregnable walls of the Critical Blast cavern here. I know there have been some lagging issues with previous videos that I've been made aware of, and I'm very embarrassed by those. I thought it was just my machine, but apparently it's something I could actually do something about, and I'm hoping I've taken care of that. It's been installed today, and we'll see where it goes. Had some interesting finds today in the quarter bins, and I'm just going to share them because I love a quarter bin. I can hit a quarter bin 4 times harder than I can hit a dollar bin. And while I love the dollar bin at Cosmic Comics, the quarter bin at Half Price Books is amaze balls. Bianca, thank you for showing up. How do we sound? Are we lagging? Are we skipping? Because we're testing this new repeater. We want to make sure we've got a good signal tonight. I know we've been skipping in the past. I'm trying to make that not happen anymore. So I'll start with some of the cheaper finds first. I mean, they were all a quarter, but these are just some. It's like, yeah, I'll throw a quarter at that because I'm interested. Bruce Wayne, The Road Home, Oracle one-shot. I liked Oracle, so thank you. Thank you, Bianca. Appreciate it. Glad to hear that. I liked Oracle, so I took a shot at it. Also, I just really love this cover for Adventure Comics 1. I just love that giant title. Takes up half the page. Really stuck out to me. Alpha Flight #2. I loved Alpha Flight, and I can't believe that the low issues are actually in a quarter bin. So this is some premium John Byrne here. I'm looking really forward to digging into this again. I was there the first time around. Hopefully the stories hold up better than they do in my memory. A lot of times I'll pick up an old issue of something because I loved it when I was a kid, and I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking then, but it's okay now, I guess. And then Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld #16. Now I picked this one up because this is how Amethyst used to be. Right now it's sort of it's still the fantasy story, and Amethyst is this princess in Gemworld. Now she's also part of Young Justice, I suppose. But this was Captain Marvel for girls. And when I say Captain Marvel for girls, I'm talking about Billy Batson Captain Marvel. He was the child, Billy Batson, and he did the magic thing, and he became an adult with powers. Well, that's what happened to Amy Winston. She was a teenage girl on Earth, but when she went through the magic thing, she was a powerful princess in another realm. This is where comics really excel. This is why we have the teen sidekicks, is because the publishers wanted to find a way to make the readers relate to the characters. So they gave them these young sidekicks for the younger readers to invest themselves into. That's what Captain Marvel did. That's what Amethyst did. These were power fantasies where you're like, okay, I may just be, a normal kid here with problems that I'm trying to deal with, but for a while I can escape and put myself into this other person who becomes this powerful person, and then I can pretend that I'm got a shot at having this kind of powerful thing. I think this kind of storytelling is what needs to come back. We need something like Captain Marvel used to be, like Amethyst used to be. And then of course, Amethyst, the Amethyst Gemworld problems would bleed over into the Earth World thing. So she had to deal with things when she wasn't powerful, when she was just Amy Winston. Very cool and very relatable dynamic. Powerless readers who can see their heroes being in a powerless situation. It really creates a bond between the character and the reader. Keeps them coming back. Now this new one here, I'm really getting into the old stuff here. 88. I don't want to say 88's old stuff. I have comic books from the 50s. That's what I consider the old stuff. 88, I was just graduating college. So that should not be considered old stuff. Old fart. So this comes from Eternity Comics, and this is part of the X-Mutants universe anthology called Shattered Earth. Now, why did I pick this up, you ask? Well, first of all, the price was right. It was $0.25. Second of all, it was an indie publisher. Third of all, it's a #1. So, that's three things going for it right there. And then, of course, there's this signature on the cover here. And I'm going to see if I can get that to show up. It's right there in the lower corner by the staple. Do you see that name? This is before Catwoman, way before Catwoman. This is a Jim Ballant cover. Before he was doing Catwoman, before he was doing Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose. So yeah, this is some vintage Jim coming to us from Eternity. I don't know if this is his first work. I know that Jim had told me his first published comics work was you know what? I'd love to raise the camera, but it's actually in the monitor. This is a laptop. Maybe I should invest on an external camera. That'd be a good idea. I've got another USB plug that I could put it into, or I could always put another white. Believe it or not, I'm going to do this thing. This is the desk that my laptop sits on. The desk is, look what I did. I spilled everything. The desk is 4 long white boxes stacked 2 on top of each other. 4 long white boxes stacked 2 on top of each other. So I could easily make the desk taller and just put another long white box here and just type like this, I guess, but it would be above me. But if that makes it work better, I'll definitely find a way to raise the camera up. So anyway, I have not read Shattered Earth. I have read the X-Mutants, and there's a reason I'm bringing that up. That being the 5th reason why I picked up this book. Jim Ballant did not do the interiors on this one. The interiors on this one were done by Mike, M-Y-K-E, Mike. That's it, artist letterer, Mike. There's also a piece in here done by writer and artist Dan Panosian. There's a name we know. And another story in here written by E. Paul Tobin with art by Phil Hester. So yeah, this has names in it. This is where people were, as Zach puts it, they were earning their stripes. Also picked up the Maze Agency. This is number 8, but it's the first issue that was published by Innovation. Innovation was innovative. They had a lot of cool titles. They did some really bright, colorful interiors. So I was very happy with that. I've not read the Maze Agency before, so I'm looking forward to digging into it. But the real reason I was hitting the quarter bins was for this title here. Southern Knights, the South's #1 super team. Now this started out being published by the Guild, and then as it went along, it was picked up by publisher Comics Interview. Now, Southern Knights had several different artists that worked for it. From issue to issue, it was always a different artist. Sometimes you'd get 2 of them in a row, and that helped it really come out on time. And this was a black and white indie that it ran for a good long time. I mean, I've got at least 36 issues here, and I'm not even sure that that's the last issue. So I'm going to do some checking. Okay, web cameras under $20. It's easy to say. I've got to put food in these people's faces first. Yeah, okay, a webcam, $20. I'll get a webcam and I'll just put another 3, 4 boxes behind here and set it there, and I can look up like this. That'd be perfect. We can do that. Probably be a better camera than what's built into this thing here anyway. So we'll do it. We'll make it happen. We'll do it. But all these Southern Nights, while they were drawn by different people to help the schedule come out on time, they were all written and plotted by the same man, Henry Vogel. Now, Henry Vogel also did a comic book series called Aristocratic Time-Traveling Ex-Thieves, which was also fun. I've got some issues of that. I've still got to dig those out. I want them all together because if things work out correctly, very soon we are going to be doing a live stream interview with Mr. Henry Vogel, who is still publishing. He's not publishing comics right now. He is doing science fiction novels. But Henry was basically Comicsgate OG. He was the old school guy. This was back in the day when it was a lot like things are today, where people were not finding work in the mainstream industry, so they were going out and doing independent stuff. This was back when Eastman and Laird were breaking ground and bringing out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that became so popular that everyone realized that, hey, if 2 kids with a mimeograph machine in a garage can crank out something that's going to make them some money, well, by golly, I can at least go to Kinko's and do the same thing. So you started getting black and white everything. And because Turtles became so popular and people had missed out on it, they invested blindly into all these other black and white titles. And a lot of it was just crap, but people were like, but what if it's the next thing? So that's what led to the black and white glut that exploded all this independent work on the shelves. But Sturgeon's Law coming into play, 90% of everything is crap. Well, about 95% of everything that came out in the black and white glut was crap. The 5% that was not crap included things like Southern Nights and Ex-Thieves. So I think it'd be really fun to have a large audience here for Henry when we have him on, and maybe encourage him to get back into comics with the Kickstarter and the Indiegogo thing going on. This is the kind of story here where this is what everybody's wanting, just plain old action stories without any entanglements or preachy messages. This was just a great action. The characters were dynamic. They were individuals. They had personalities of their own. They interacted with each other in certain ways. They didn't always like each other. There were fights, there were rivalries, but they were still a team. So they weren't all instant friends and all believing the same thing all at the same time. So that's, fingers crossed. Henry says he's up for it. We're just now trying to schedule it and make it happen on a day. And if it's going to be that day, then plan on it. Hopefully it'll be February 1st, 4 p.m. Central. We'll do it from Cosmic Comics Belleville, which is Dave Dyer's birthday. So we will be celebrating it on the correct day. The rest of the stuff I picked up from the dollar bin. I always feel bad picking up stuff from the dollar bin because I could have picked up 4 things from the quarter bin. And you've seen how successful I've been there. Strange Adventures 177. Still getting into that. Omega Men #1. Wildcats X-Men, the Modern Age, and the Flashpoint trade paperback. I picked up, not in the dollar bin, I picked that up in the $3 bin. But $3 for the entire Flashpoint run, I figured is pretty darn good. Now, I need to do a whole video on this one, so I'm just going to show it up here. A 10-minute video daily. I've heard the same thing, and I'd love to do that. I think before I could do a 10-minute video every day, I'd probably have to do a week of no videos and write down something that I could talk about for 10 minutes each time, which comes into planning and professionalism. So, point well taken. I need to do that. That's what it takes. I'll do a 10-minute video every day on something, and I will find a solid something. Maybe the first 10-minute video will be a video dedicated to this hardcover graphic novel, New Teen Titans Games, that I picked up. I was just about to say that I need to do a video solely dedicated to this. I loved the New Teen Titans, the Marv Wolfman, George Perez, and of course, that is the original Homeboys doing this. Reading this, it reminds me of Thomas Wolfe was right. You can't go home again. So if I want New Teen Titans that I can enjoy, go back and get the original babies and just reread those. And what I need to do, I need to find some way to be able to wipe memories before I sit down and read a comic book so that they're new to me each time. I wonder if I would enjoy them the same amount each time if I did that. Okay, yeah, I could do that. Hey, you know, maybe I could go read a Critical Blast article. Yeah, no prep needed. Just I have noticed that several people who are doing quite well for themselves on YouTube do a 10-minute video based on reading a Bounding into Comics article. So sure, I'll give them some traffic now and then, but I think maybe once in a while I might just read a Critical Blast article and you know, kind of help the home team out a little bit. Unless, of course, they want to start reading Critical Blast articles for their videos, in which case, you know, the more the merrier. We'll, you know, rising tide raises all boats. Anyhow, I think we've done a successful test here. Thank you, Bianca, for letting me have some feedback, not only on the video feed tonight, but also on the camera angles. And I will work on that. I'll get a camera and I'll build this thing up so we can get maybe even a better picture than what's coming through now. Hopefully it won't be a bigger draw in the system. This is a Sinclair model laptop. I say Sinclair because it's a dinosaur. So really, I'd rather spend $20 on a new camera than another $300 on a new laptop. So we'll do that. I'll work on getting a 10-minute video done on this Teen Titans novel, and then we'll see about doing that 10 minutes a day. I appreciate the advice on that too. So perfect. I listen to my audience. We had somebody on the previous video asking if I had any thoughts on the Dynamite title Deja Thoris. I had not read it yet, so I went out because we had somebody say that they wanted an opinion on it. I went out and I found the first 2 issues and I read them, and we did a video on it. So that was our last video, and it was about 12 to 15 minutes, a little longer than 10 minutes, I think, which is sort of that sweet spot we're supposed to hit. But we'll do that. 10-minute videos a day. You got it committed to me right now. I'll make it start happening next week. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate all of you. If you want to help the channel, obviously subscribing would be a great benefit to us. We're still growing the audience and trying to reach as many people as we can. We are also in the middle of our annual Best of Awards. These are real awards. This is not just a poll where we see who's the favorite among the readers. There's real trophies involved here. They get engraved, they get shipped out, they are received by the winners. So yeah, these actors will get a Critical Blast trophy. The directors get one for Best Film. So please see the link in our description. Go out and vote if you haven't. This voting also includes the voting for the Bombshell of the Year, which takes your favorite of our monthly bombshells, which are cosplayers who have been spotlighted by Critical Blast, one a month. So please go out and pick on that too. 10 minutes a day. It's going to happen.